Basically why we're here today, speaking to Harvest, is making the point was to be able to bring fire awareness into a close protection team. So what we're going to be talking about is we're going to combine fire awareness with close protection as we go along. And we're going to throw in a bit of human behaviour as well in a fire situation. So the first thing to say to you is that in a fire, there's no time. A fire is the worst enemy you'll ever meet. He's ruthless, he'll come to take your life, and he'll take anybody else's life. So this is what you've got to understand. In a fire, there's no time. Now, if we look at a fire, we have to look at the fire's, like the strength and the weakness of a fire. And the thing is, if a fire is our enemy, and it's going to show us no quarter, we have to know the weakness of the fire. So, a fire has got three weaknesses. So if we light a fire, for that fire to burn, there's three weaknesses. It has to have oxygen, that's the air around us. It has to have fuel, that's something to burn, right? And the other thing is it has to have what? Heat, oxygen. Isn't that right? Heat, something has to give off heat to make a fire. Yeah. So if you can attack a fire on any one of those fronts, take away the heat, no fire. Take away the oxygen, no fire. You know, take away the fuel, no fire. But to talk about taking away the fuel, what they mean is, if that radio went to fire there, taking away the fuel is, if you were the first on the scene, you just push all them off the table. And then there's only one to burn. It doesn't spread. So that's what the fuel means, by taking away the fuel. It's taking things out of the way, right? Now, the other thing then that we have to know is, nobody, or very seldom, anybody gets burned to death. If you get burned to death, it means you actually fall into a fire. But the way a fire operates is, when a fire starts, the smoke and the hot gases rise, and they take the oxygen out of the air. As you're trying to escape from the building, the smoke will blind your eyes and start to burn you. And the hot vapours, you start breathing them in. And as you breathe in the hot vapours, it burns the trachea, and it starts to swell, and you choke. And then the fire creeps up, but you're already dead. That if people are found dead inside a building, when they bring them for a post-mortem, the first thing they do with them is put them down the trachea here, and they look in. If it's burned, he was alive when the fire started. If it's pink, then somebody put him, he was dead when he was brought into the fire. So this is how to figure out how did he die? Whether it was murder or not, you know, stuff like that. Now, so as it says, that's what we have to understand. Fire is your worst enemy, and to defeat him, you have to know his weaknesses. And three weaknesses: heat, oxygen, and fuel. When we talk about fire extinguishers, we've a fire extinguisher that can attack him on either of these fronts by removing the oxygen from the air, or by cooling them, or by removing the fuel. If you take that, you can defeat him. Now, the other thing is that we have to know is that, I'll start by telling you, back in the 60s, in Dublin, there was a nightclub. And in this nightclub, it was called the Stardust. And there was around 1,000 people at it. There was a disco dancing competition. And 40 people died in the fire that night. 40. And these 40 people weren't old people. These were young people in their prime. Young, fit people. So how could 40 people, young people, lose their life in a fire? And basically what happened that night, there was a dancing competition. And people all stood round in a circle to watch it. Now, there was people at the back that couldn't see. There was 4 girls. So they went and they found chairs and went over to an area where there was curtains, and they stood up on the chair so they could see over everybody's head. Now, one of the girls thought she smelled smoke coming from behind the curtains behind her. So this girl could smell the smoke. She went to the doorman and she told the doorman that she could smell smoke. So when she says that to the doorman said, "Show me." So he walked opposite her and went back and pulled over the curtains, and you could see chairs on fire. in behind the curtains. Now, that was the first mistake that was made. As the doorman or anything else, if somebody says to suspect a fire, you never go empty-handed. You get an extinguisher, so when you get there, you're prepared to do something. But he went with nothing. The other thing is, he wasn't trained on fire extinguishers. And the other thing is, he didn't do a recce around to know where to locate it. And it turned out that night that of all the doormen, there was only one guy trained on fire extinguishers. And he was a part-time fireman during an exam. Outside of that, no one had passed any remarks where they were. So, as the fire started to grow, and they're running around mad looking for fire extinguishers, human behaviour, people are nosy by nature. So when they see something happening, they want to see if there's a conclusion to it. So they stand on their watch, just to see how the boys are dealing with the fire. Now, what they don't realise is that smoke and hot gases, if the fire is up there, the fire will start, the hot gases will hit the roof, and the hot gases go across your head as they travel. Whereas the hot gases start to cool, they start to drop. So when they were all watching the fire this way, and seeing how the boys were getting on, the ceiling was going on fire above their head, and smoke and hot gases. So when they turned to make their escape,
surrounded like that,
they couldn't see. They couldn't see. Now the other thing that happened that night was that when people came in the main entrance, but on that disco hall, all the emergency exits were locked. So if you're a close protection crew looking after a VP, if you select your primary and secondary route, you've got to make sure that you've walked, and if you're taking them out one of the emergency exits, that you've walked, that you know. When people went to the emergency exits, they couldn't get out, and there was bars on the window. And that morning there was 40 kids dead. Telling you about that then, I'm going to tell you something about human behaviour. People are like sheep, and people are creatures of habit. If people walk in the store, in an emergency situation, it doesn't have to be fire, just an emergency, a fire, an explosion, anything, people will automatically run for the same door they came in. They'll actually run to the same door. So, as a close protection team, if you're going to pick your primary route, you have to think twice, are you going to be picking the clearest route where everybody's walking in? Might not be the best idea. Because in an emergency, when you're trained to respond like that, as Art says, respond fast, but if there's an explosion, and it depends on how many's in the room, everybody's going to jump at the same time. So everybody jumps up together. But the one thing you do know about human behaviour is they are going to go for the way they come in. But if you selected a route
where nobody's going,
where nobody is going, and you've ensured that your exit is not locked, you see that kind of, this is what Art was asking me to do, is to kind of give conclusions as to what can happen, you know. So, is this making sense, is it, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, the other thing, we just talk about human behaviour, and over in Sweden, they do a lot of tests on human behaviour, what happens. And they've done one test over in Sweden, and they advertised the job for 10 people. So 10 people came for the interview, they were all put in the same room. And when they were all in the same room, they set off the fire alarm. So, does anyone have any idea what happened?
Everyone sat there, waiting for somebody else.
Everybody sat there, nobody moved, right? Then they advertised another 10 jobs, and they put people in different rooms on their own.
and the same thing.
But the minute the fire alarm went off, they said, I'm not sitting here on my own. So they all legged it out the building, right? But they were thinking straighter. But peer pressure, sometimes in a group of people, no one wants to make the first move. And that's where you have to be positive, that you're focused on your plan, because the law requires, when a fire alarm sounds, you have to leave the building. So, as a close protection team, if you're with the VP, has been briefed by the bodyguard that the fire alarm sounds, that you are going to leave the building. It's just a consideration.
No, it's only consideration. Exactly. Just get and go. Straight away.
You can't go, so once it sounds, that, and he knows that's going to happen. Because there was a fire in America in an hotel, and the fire alarm went off, and everybody started to evacuate the hotel. There was no fire, and 4 people died. What they found out is the 4 people who died of heart attacks. It's a frightening excitement. So once again, it's what's the medical condition of the PP? The importance of reassurance. And as Arthur says, keep calm, keep cool, and don't react.
And it was the same thing as well. It was in Canada as well. There was a nightclub with 500 people in it.
Yeah.
And when the fire alarm, they saw the fire, I think from the group, fireworks and all going off.
Right.
And they were all running out to the door they came in.
Right.
So the people were jammed and all, so they couldn't get out. So I think most of the people died. I think 300 people or so died.
But that's what happens.
Because they couldn't get out.
They all go the same way, start falling, and next thing is quiet, next thing nobody can move.
It's a good reason though, if you wanted to get to a VP, if you were the guy going to attack the VP, to set off a fire alarm, just smash a box.
Exactly.
You know he's going to leave.
This is good tactic, yeah?
Yeah.
Very good tactic,
He's
yeah?
gonna leave.
Yeah.
So the team has to be aware that it could be a simple tactic,
Yes,
yes.
it's simple tactic, just to get them on the
Maybe
move.
somebody's waiting outside or
Yeah.
Or just maybe set small fire just beside him. Just only for him, you know?
The other, I'll just tell you two other things about human behaviour. A supermarket, they got women shoppers coming into a supermarket and gave them a radio and asked them to comply with the instructions given. So when the women went in shopping, it says, go to the fish counter, go to the bread counter, and then it says, the fire alarm is sounding. And to every one of them, they all just turned their trolleys because they're creatures of habit and all headed back the way they came in. Right? The next day, they got 10 more shoppers, gave them each a radio, says, go to the bread counter, go to the fish counter. But this time, they left the fire exit doors open. And instinctively, once people could see that the door was open, that's the direction they headed. And that's the only way you'll change them from their habits. If a person can see, they'll go that way. If a door is closed, there's a reluctance. The other thing is there, like Arthur, he was saying about his team and having 2 women on his team. And this might amaze you, that a man is nosy by nature. In a fire evacuation, it's the man that causes the problem. Because as he's going and somebody's directing people out, the man is nosy. What's up? What's wrong? He wants to know too much. The woman will take instructions from the male, the alpha male. And a woman will take instructions far more clearly in an emergency situation than a man will. The other thing about a female is, if you go into a chem shop and your girlfriend or your wife is with you, and she's there and she's spraying perfume, and you see her doing this, and you say, oh, Jesus, would she ever come out of the shop, The next thing she says to you, here, what do you think of this perfume? You go, yeah, that's nice. But you can't smell the fragrance because you've lost your animalistic instinct. As we're evolving through time, but the female has retained more of it. And the female has a greater sense of smell than a man. Do you ever said with the stardust, the women was them to smell the smoke first? The other thing is a female has a greater sense of fear than a man has. If something's going wrong, a female will feel quicker than a male. And this is a natural fact in the human behaviour as to how things work.
It's a good reason to tell if you have somebody you're going to protect and you want to have a female with them, you say the instincts of the female are actually, if they question it, are very good, better than a man in some ways.
Much better. Much better. Reactions much better, really.
Yeah.
And very cruel, just because of feeling fear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because man more professional, he just work like machine. Woman just if she know how to control this fear, she is just like amazing.
Yes.
Very good coordination, natural stress, and if she got command like you told that she's listen alpha male, she can be like vital gun, just really deadly gun. Woman is deadly gun.
And the other thing that we should bear in mind is even in your own personal life, that when you go into a building, you always, yourself, you're in the theatre of that, always look for your secondary exit. If you're going into an hotel, and if you are with a VP, you have to be aware of what floor is on. Is it on a low level floor? Is it on a high level floor? If a fire alarm sounds, the lifts are going like this. But once the fire alarm sounds, the lifts drop and they're not coming back. So if you're not at the lift or in the lift, it's always going to be on foot you're making your way down. And you have to know, get to the protective stairways in the high-rise buildings. There are protected stairways that will take you down safely. It's not going through the building, it's get your protected
The other thing is that
stairway.
stairway could be full of smoke and it's dark and you have to know how many stairways you're going down.
Yeah.
You have to. This is like, remember guys, from very beginning about risk assessment and recce.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any place, anywhere you go, you have to do recce. And never use lifts, just in case of emergency. Always go down on your foot.
Because if you get trapped in the lift, it's all over. The other thing is, just talking about things to do and not to do. It's the same when you're in an aircraft. The most dangerous time in an aircraft is taking off, because she's fully laden with fuel on the wings, right? Once an airplane is in the air, outside of a terrorist threat, an airplane is always safe. So the next most critical time in an aircraft is coming down to land, right? Now, so when you're in the aircraft, you've got to look at your exits. And your chance is slim in an aircraft, but if you have a chance, you have to work with a percentage. Never sit more than 6 seats from the exit. Never sit more than 6. If you're more than 6, you only get in an aircraft and everybody tries to jump in together. The regulation says that 100% of the occupants should be able to go out through 50% in the exits in 90 seconds. But that's just people like ourselves training on an aircraft. But in reality, you need to be not more than 6 seats from an exit. If a plane is going to brake on landing, it normally brakes in three. The top part brakes, the back bit brakes, and the centre bit brakes. Now, if you pick the centre of the aircraft to sit on, the description of an aircraft is an aluminium house between two petrol tanks. That's how we describe an aircraft as per our response. So the most dangerous place is, on a crash landing, the plane will brake, and it's going to brake in the middle. So people are going to be thrown in right in centre. And the fuel is all going to come forward in that area, where the tail may be thrown one way and the nose the other way. So it's just something to bear in mind. And the other thing is, as the aircraft is taking off, and you when they dim the lights, when them lights dim, that's an equalisation of the night vision outside and inside the aircraft. If the aircraft doesn't make it on takeoff and it comes down, you're not going to be blinded by the sunlight or the darkness. And it's the same when an aircraft comes in at night to land and the lights dim. That's an equalisation to get your eyes used to the night light as it's coming back down. As you're on the plane going back home, you can start thinking of all that stuff.
That's what I was about to say.
The other thing you do on the plane is you count your seats to the exit.
Yeah.
But this is good stuff.
Molly has a ticket so you can check it in.
It's really good stuff. I never knew that. Never think from this angle. It's just perfect.
Count your seats because it's smoke, it's dark.
The other thing on the aircraft to be aware of is that you're not more than 6 seats, but human nature, if the plane stops, everybody's going to get up and try to get out. If the obstruction is there, you know that the seat behind you, where the windows are, is going to be a blank space right down to the exit. So when everybody else is trying to go this way, it looks like a blockage, you go across the seats down this way.
You jump over this,
And that gets you quick to the exit. And you're out the door. And then you stand there and say, can I help anybody else? Anybody say boy?
No, this is exactly. Remember what was the program at the beginning? Because this is, for example, I never ever we thought like from this way, which is brilliant stuff. Which is good to know.
So you have to be thinking, because as it says, once the fire starts, you've only got seconds, right? So that's just a bit of a human behaviour and how it works. The other thing is that you can be taking somebody from a building and you could just open the door and all of a sudden, whoosh, like that, the whole place can be filled with smoke. As smoke comes into an area, it'll always come from the top and it'll start coming down. So when you can't see here, you have to remember, get down low and see can you see under it. I've seen fires that will be blazing in buildings and yet you could get down low and you could see a whole corridor up that way. And if you stay standing like this and you can see nothing and your eyes are getting burned. So if you hit smoke and it interferes with visibility that you can't see, that you have to get back. No, he's up the other side, Margaret. Yeah. But so it's remember that smoke-filled areas get down low. Now the other thing is that if a place fills up with smoke, if you're taking somebody out through a hallway, like a big room, you should always, the security advance party, when they're planning their routes, their primary route and their secondary route, is if you're coming into this room, the thing is the way they should walk their route is to put their hand on the wall like that. And if I walk around this room here, I keep following the wall, and it brings me right around there, and it brings me back out this door here. Do you understand? If I come in, if you go home to your house at home, and you put your hand on the wall, as you walk around, you can walk around your whole house, and eventually it'll bring you back out your front door. Right? So it's the same thing then, if you're in a big room, if the smoke comes down quick, you won't see, but you've got to get to a wall. So you have to remember your last position that you're in here. The smoke comes down, you don't see, but you know you've seen the door that way. You've got to move into a wall. So if you're going to throw it this way, but you've got to go and you have to walk that way. Because if you go to walk, people could fall on the floor, you'll fall over them. And once you get to the wall, that's it. And then you know your exit's that way. So you go tapping up. And this will bring you to your door that's up that side. And that way, if you practice your route, you know when you come to a door here, then if you come to a door here, on a certain procedure getting out, you follow the door up this way. If you don't know where you are, if you do know where you are, you come to this door and you say, I know where I am, this is the top of the stairway. Then you can switch to your left. As you're going through, the nearer you are to the fire, the warmer the material will be. So if you're going along, you can feel it warm and getting warmer. It means you're heading into the fire. So you just turn around and get your other hand on, and you start, and it gets cooler. So now you know you're going away from the fire. Do you understand?
Yeah. So you know the choice to make it. You don't want to walk back up and go back and do it.
Yeah, it doesn't move. It's just an indication that you pick up as you start to move around this way or that way. One thing is, visibility goes. If you don't get to a wall, you won't get anywhere. And I prove that to you later on. You won't get anywhere. That's it. You've got to get to the wall. And the thing is, it depends on what floor you're on. Once you know which floor you're on, well, the lower the floor, like the normal ladders the fire service carries is 13.5, 10.5 ladders, right? So that brings you up to a fourth floor. If you're on a fourth floor, but that way, at least you know the fire brigade ladders can reach. So if it's a bad fire and the smoke is bad, it's just to make you think the different problems. Is this all making sense? Is it?
Yeah.
So these are all just the different considerations, right? So, as we said, if we talk about fire and we talk about attacking fire, we do have to know about a fire extinguishers, right? As a way or a means of clearing the way that you're going to be able to get out, you know. And then you also have to stand, and artists, and I've been talking about this, they can also be used as weapons against you, right? So, and then when you train people about fire extinguishers, after 3 or 4 weeks, they forget what you told them. Do you understand? Because it's like every other course, you know, you learn things and you forget things. But with a fire extinguisher, always remember the word pass. P-A-S-S. And every time you pass an extinguisher, that's telling you how to work it. Right? So, as you pass by an extinguisher, as you pass by an extinguisher, right, the P is telling you to pull the pin. That's what the P stands for. That's the pin. So the P said, pull the pin, the P. The A means aim at the base of the fire. If you've got a fire, don't put direct the spray onto the flames. You've got to get down to the base. So it's pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, you squeeze the trigger. When you squeeze, you get contents. When you release, it stops. Squeeze the trigger, and then what you do is you sweep from side to side. So if you remember the word pass, you'll never forget how to work a fire extinguisher. Right? So everybody pretend you pass by it, it's just telling you what to do. Right? The other thing is, if you're a security advance party and you are walking your primary routes and your secondary routes, always check the fire extinguishers and see is the security seal on them. That's a security seal. If that's on it, that means that no one has interfered with that fire extinguisher. If that seal is off it, it's possible the extinguisher could be empty. Somebody's used it, has been put back to it's empty, or it could mean that somebody has interfered with the extinguisher. Yeah. So if you just seen it when you're in a place, you just go to the man and say, do you mind if I swap this extinguisher with the one that's over the fire corridor?
And remember, Alf, you told me that it can be like petrol inside instead
Yes.
of for that stuff, especially to build up fire.
Yeah.
And after you start to fight fire and you're just getting explosions because it's petrol inside.
Yeah. So
Some type of ambush.
yeah. So that's the first indication. If you're coming along, you see this, you say, well, maybe it was just accidental, but then maybe it's a threat. But always check to see if there's a seal. If you've the PP coming up a place, you make sure that these seals are all on the extinguishers. Then there, like, all that there, that's a pressure gauge, and just red means it's empty. The pressure in it is empty. Basically what you have is, I'll tell you what you have here. This is just filled with water up to here. And all they do is then to put pressure into the valve here, and it pressurizes this area here. It's a 12 bar pressure here. So all that happens is, when you press this down, this pressure pushes the contents down, and there's a tube coming from here. And this tube, we see that's the extinguisher there, and there's a tube coming down here. And that goes up in the handle, and then that's your content in there. So, so as I'm saying, so you have about 12 bar pressure pushing down here. If this extinguisher was emptied, all you can do is you can open this top here, and you could fill this with petrol, this extinguisher, and just pressurise it just the same. And this could be converted into a flamethrower. It's as simple as that. That if they could be walking by you and just douse you with petrol, just as quick as you blink. So that is what can happen on an extinguisher. So if they're going to interfere with an extinguisher to make this into a flamethrower, that's what they would have done. They would have put petrol on that one, right? The other thing is we've different types of extinguishers, and the fire extinguisher internationally, over here they're red, in England they're red, across Europe they can be any colour. So red doesn't mean it's a fire extinguisher anymore, it's the label. It's the label. So it can be silver, it can be green, it can be any colour. What you have to watch it is the label of the fire extinguisher. And as we see here, the blue here means neutral extinguisher, the cream means it's foam, and the black means it's carbon dioxide, CO2. So that's how you identify them, by the label, not by the colour of the earth, right? Now, if we were to pick the best extinguisher with all-round capability, it's this one here, it's the dry powder. This will fight any class of fire, right? But it has its disadvantages and can be used as an attack on you as well. Because where it's got a rapid knockdown, when you fire this extinguisher in a confined space, you can't see. So you can be inside in a room, someone come to a room, just fire it in the door, activate it. Visibility inside that room is rough. There could be someone in there after whoever you were minding or anything. So this here, now you normally find these extinguishers is in a kitchen because it's designed for oil. It can be used on electricity, but you'll find them in a kitchen. But only if it gets out of control. So if you're in a corridor with the VPs of that, and you're walking along in a recce, and you see one of these in a corridor, that extinguisher shouldn't be there. Because it's not fit for that purpose. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're going along, you see one of these, you say, well, this shouldn't be here. Because in a building, they put the extinguishers to suit the risk at different parts of the building. So the extinguishers suit the fire risk. So if you're going along, normally in a corridor, you'll see the likes of these ones. Right, because this here will put out, this will knock out the fire, but it operates by cooling. It's got cooling properties. It's got smothering properties. And as I said, it's just water and sort of foam additive. It's just a little flask like that with 8% of that foam, and that's mixed with that. And that's all it is. But that there would be used by the fire service most of the time, inside buildings of that. Right? It's an atomized spray that comes out of it, so you hit like that in the equipment, it won't give you a shot back. Right? But it says, normally that's the one you see, but on it, I'll explain, let's see how I explain this to you. That if I get a piece of paper here, just imagine that's a bit of paper, and if we try to burn it, right, the paper is going to burn, isn't it? But it's not the paper that's burned. What happened is, the flame hit the paper gives off gas, and it's the gas that goes on fire. It's the same if you try to light the fire at home in the house, and if you get, if you want to burn coal, you have to get fire lighters in first, isn't that right?
Yeah.
And you're saying, you're waiting for the fire lighter to heat up the coal to give off the gas, and when the gas gets its ignition temperature, that's when it goes into a flame. So if you're in an area and you see a place full of newspapers and all that, right, so you know it's a high risk area, because once you hit the flame it's going to go. But if I like this, I'm trying to burn the table, I'll be standing here a long time to try and burn the table. So as you walk in the area, and that in a building you can classify it to different risks, like red, amber and green. And you know if the VP is in this side, he's in the high risk side of the building, where he's in a different stage here, or he's in a low risk this side. Just be understanding. Because all buildings are safe, and what makes them dangerous is what people put in it. Every building is built, it's where everybody drags in, right? So we wanted this here. So as I said, this extinguisher here, it's a foam extinguisher used for night fires, right? It's also used on chairs and anything that's in here, right? So basically, I'll show you how that one operates the same. Remember the word P, pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the trigger, and sweep from side to side. That's the way that one works. This one works exactly the same thing. Same thing, pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire. But when you're going to set up an extinguisher, you have to remember, when you pull the pin, you don't go to the fire then like this, because you haven't tested the extinguisher. There is a failure rate of 5% on fire extinguishers. So if you grab the extinguisher, you can run up to the fire, go to fire,
Would that work?
and it won't work. So when you pull the pin, you always test it to see that you've got content.
So you can get another one that doesn't work.
And then you advance the fire. If you're fighting the fire and someone is bringing up extinguishers to you, the empty extinguishers, as you're doing them, you always put them that way. So as someone's bringing full extinguishers, they're standing up.
So you're not slapping the
So you're not lifting off the ground, right? So, as we said, so basically that's the same. And then there's this one here. The thing about this one here, remember we said we can fight the fire in different ways. This one here cools. Remember we said the fire needs heat. This one here cools. That's what that one does. That there's your cream label. The black label excludes the oxygen from the air. It's no cooling properties. but it excludes the oxygen from the air. So remember it says, if the triangle, if the fire is the enemy, his weak points, take the oxygen out of the air, he dies. If you cool him with this one, he dies. If you move the fuel away, he dies. What makes this one different than these two is, this is a powder like talcum powder, and the maker's own secret ingredients, it's all mixed with it. This is put out of class A, B, C, and F fire. But what this one does is, because it's a powder, it interferes with the flame, the chemical reaction of the flame. So it attacks the fire from a whole different way. That's what makes it so powerful. This one has everything working for it. But the disadvantage, as we said, is it interferes with visibility. It starts to choke you in the dust, and you can't see. So that's why you, when you start the procedure, get to the wall, and that takes you out of the building. We're also saying about this one here again, talking about it, that if someone's coming walking and they carry the extinguisher like that, that's in its proper mode, carrying it that way. If you're standing on duty and you see a guy coming walking, he was aimed like this, and he just appears to be walking by. If he presses this here, this is all compressed carbon dioxide gas. If you fire this to a person, the first thing is you're doing is taking all the oxygen out of the air around them, so they can't breathe. The other thing is that it can be up to minus 3,000 degrees, the coldness that's going to come out of this, and what it does is it freezes your eyeballs. Right? So a guy coming walking, so he's walking an extinguisher, just passing by you, and bang, hits you in the face with it. Yeah.
Very good, yeah?
Yeah, it's serious, this.
Serious gun.
Yeah.
I was joking, but it's too serious.
In the sense of the protection, he could be walking by just to blast you.
Exactly. Exactly,
He's
yeah.
coming walking up the corridor like this, and if you don't see it in its normal position like this,
This is danger, exactly.
What he's going to do is
but if you see him coming like this, you just have to be.
You have to stop him and bend it down because this is real dangerous.
Yeah. The other thing is, if you were using this extinguisher yourself, and there was a press, and you're using this here, this would be used for fires involving electricity. If you get electricity, you knock out the fire because you've taken the oxygen out of the air, but you've got to knock off what's supplying the heat, the power. You've got to, if you don't do that, it'll keep reigniting. Do you understand? Because the gas is all hot. So hit the fire, see can you knock it off, right? And if you knock it off, then this is how you bring it under control. If you get to a press that's on fire, just remember this point, and you're knocking out a fire here, and you get over enthusiastic, and you stick your big head in to see how you're doing.
Then turn around and
You stick your head in, there's no oxygen. And so we have to pull you up with the ankles and get you back out the door. It's just, do you know, it does happen, yeah.
Is it out?
Yeah. So,
the point there you made there about materials in your building and making it safe is the end point that came to mind, because you can go to a building and the fire exit, you could be a second exit, but the paper bins are there and the cardboard bins, and I'll be told them you shouldn't have that there so close to the building, that paper bin and cardboard bin should be away, because that goes on fire. It was right in the laneway. But if the fire alarm goes and that was your exit, that could be the part that's on fire.
well, you see, that's a very good point to always make. Because if you're in your primary routes, you've got to look at any stairway that you're going up to make sure there's no accumulation. Because the law states under a stairway you can't store rubbish.
People store paper.
But most of it do it. Still we do it.
Yeah, even in the houses, their own houses at home, under the stairs, they make it a big dump. But in the place of public assembly, that's what you make sure. As you're doing your routes, primary, secondary routes, you're making sure from a fire protection point of view that there's no accumulation built under any stairway. But it's all clear. The other thing is when you're using a fire extinguisher is you'll always find a fire extinguisher over at the exit doors to the room. And the reason is that is that we're all in here, and next thing is a bang, and a puff of smoke, and everyone jumps up and they run. Then because a man is nosy, he'll always look around to see what happened, right? And maybe you see the flame burning, but the flame is only maybe 2 foot high. If the flame is not more than 2 foot high, you can put it out with a fire extinguisher. If the flame has gone 3, 4, 5 foot high, don't. But the best thing you can do is close the door.
Exactly.
Always close the door as you leave a fire. Every door you go by, and that way you stop whatever darkness knows there, the perfection, the air perfection. The best fire stopping device is your door. It gives everybody time. So the best, you know, always remember that. The other thing is then, as I said, you run, you hear the bang, and you say, that doesn't look too bad. You get the extinguisher and you come back in, right? As I said, you pull the pin, squeeze the trigger, you're even at the base of the fire, and you get more enthusiastic, right? And then you're saying, I'm really doing well here, and you're coming around, and all of a sudden, the fire extinguisher empties. Nothing left. But what you've done is, you've now put the fire between you and your exit.
Yeah, because it's kind of rising.
So the fire's going to flash up in front of you. You're standing with an empty fire extinguisher. And now you're running completely different in the way you planned. So when you're using a fire extinguisher, you always keep your back to the exit. And as you're fighting the fire, do you ever see the smoke and the hot gases rises? So as it's coming up, as you're fighting the fire, and you keep looking back, you see your exit. If your exit begins to dim down, you stop what you're doing, you go outside, you close the door, and you leave. Same time, it's just if you're in there, if someone says there's a fire along a corridor or that, and you come up, if you come up to the door, you always come with an extinguisher with you first. When you get to the door, tip the door with your hand.
Yeah,
If it's very hot, red hot, you're not going to pull out a fire extinguisher. Do you know what I mean? If you are going to try and do something like that, you don't open the door this way, because you fed it with oxygen and the flames will all jump out and blast the face off you. So if you're going to open a door that you suspect there's a fire behind it, you open the door this way.
We seem like we've opened.
So you protect yourself. If you want to, with a powder extinguisher, you might open it that way, just stick your nose in and let the powder extinguisher off it. Do you know what I mean? If the door is very hot, there's a bad fire behind it, leave it closed. When you open it, you can spread the fire throughout the whole building. The other thing about, as I said, about the extinguisher, here we are. So the seal itself, that just breaks. So I just pull it in there. And you're going to pull the pin. Remember that's your control lever there, right? The hand goes up and down. But if you're holding it, hold it by the bottom.
because you're squeezing it.
Because the bottom is, yeah, if you put your hand here, the whole thing will go up. So just hold it there, and then we said, just pull it like, give it a good pull. Yeah. Just pull it, see that's it.
Smack it
See it there, just give it a pull. Right. So you see now this pin now. Right.
And now we would like to say that this is grenade. So just...
Now, the other thing about this extinguisher is that if you haven't heard it working before, the first time, it can cause a lot of concern because there's a noise out of it. It's like that. So, as I said, the guy walking by and all of a sudden hits you this in the face, you hear this noise, you know. So, you just have to go and squeeze the trigger and pass them around there and everybody gets squeeze them. Give it the door there. So all we've done is to take the oxygen out of the air, that's great. There's no oxygen there. See the good of and if you feel it there. Now the other thing is, you don't touch, this is called the horn of the extinguisher. If you touch this here, it can give you frostbite. So you put your nozzle in position, and then use it. If you're going to adjust it up or down, just stick it like that. But don't hold it when you're firing it, right?
Good.
You know.
Well, good.
So, as it says, all it's doing
I like
is...
the noise though, because the initial sound is...
People have been known if there's mice in the house, and you want to kill... If you have mice in the house, if you go to the mouse hole, and you fire this into the mouse hole, they take all the oxygen out loud into the mouse.
Don't get one.
So we're all happy with that.
We're all very happy, yeah.
So this is the extinguisher that we're going to be using on the fire. So as I said, you go outside, you'll be taking it slow, but all you remember what we say, remember the word pass, right? Pull the pin, pull the pin, and then just remember, test that you have content, and then you move in. As you move in on the fire, if you you walk in like this and stand straight, and next thing is your back, you're going to fall back. So it's like, rather to say some of the time, you're advancing that way. Do you know what I mean? So if something happens, you're more steady and you're getting ready to run. But you don't stand this way. Then something happens and you're all excited and you fall. So you approach
Like with gun, exactly.
Yeah, and you get in, fire it, and then you back away if you have to.
Should be easy.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. But this one outside, I'm just going to ignite this and pass it around to everybody, that you'll be able to see the principle of the thing, how it works, and the way the foam works in it. Right? And
There you go, Derry. So you just bought the fire extinguisher?
Yes.
yeah, but the importance, remember what I said is, if the smoke comes down, visibility goes, you've got to get to a wall. If you don't get to the wall, you're going to get lost. If you don't get to the wall, so if you're doing your ready up through a place that you're going to the point A, remember the wall. Instead of looking just in front of you, just be getting a visual thing. You know, if fourth floor downwards, every window's an exit. If you can't get down the rest of the way, you know, seal up the room. So that's the way we have.
And if you're in a room, like, even wave your jacket out the window. And stuff.
Yeah, but keep the window on,
Anything.
that the oxygen is not all coming into the room.
How many seconds do you have with this?
That's it. These here only last 30 seconds, 35 seconds.
Thing like this.
So that's what I said. If the flame is more than 2 foot high, it's a good indicator. People do fire training, and they like these big fires, and give people a false sense of security. They can do this, they don't. But never keep your back to the exit, and never put the fire between you and the exit. That's the golden rule. We're all right. So what we'll do is we're just going to go out here first. We're here ready to start. Moving along, you're going to have to protect the face. Because wires could fall, there could be obstructions, 20 bars, anything can hit you. So you're moving along, you've got to keep your hand to protect your face. And the other hand is tipping the wall the whole time, right? So this is the purpose of this exercise, it's only yourself. Just have a go at that. Just try like this. And you're just moving along, moving that forward front of you. Move this hand up here like that, right? And hand to the wall, right? So you're feeling along the wall, you're protecting your hand, and you're moving along. Has everybody got that? Yeah. Now, Arthur's
checking with leg. I checking wall with leg because my hands now.
So Arthur's is going to stand up here. You stand here, Arthur.
Yep.
Now Arthur stand here, right? And all that happens is, I just want to show you what it's like to leave a wall. Who wants to go first? Here we go. Come on out, please. Now, all Joel is going to do with this exercise is, I want him to go up and shake hands with Arthur. That's all you have to do. But I'm going to blindfold him. Right, they can't see. But remember, he has to protect himself and he has to shuffle because he doesn't want to fall over anybody. That's right, yeah. And the funny thing is, as we said, when we do this, everybody else has to remain quiet. Alright? Everybody else remains quiet and we each see each other do it. And as I said, you have to be honest with me, okay. So the thing is, we did an initial bang, right? And just say the guy gets turned around like this. And he has to trust me that I tell him, come back to here up. Right, now. So all I want him to do is to go up and shake hands with Arthur. If this was a hall, and that was the principal, the VP, and all of a sudden you see him, the smoke comes down and you don't see him, now you go to make your way across. But you've got to protect your face and you've got to show. So they put the arm down low and it says, one for us, yeah. And everybody else will pick this out. So go ahead and go. Just hold it there, though. Just do that.
No, it's good. It's good. Look, you're nearly here. So
Yeah.
So I think you can judge by the room, though, no? Like, because we know what's in it.
No, you don't. Well, you don't. Once I started going and I felt something on my foot.
How are you going to know that this is the
I didn't know where I was moving because my sense of perception was gone.
Because he was moved around, you know,
Yeah.
but to lose orientation from the very beginning.
But the thing is, you see, we're talking about an open room. This is not an open room.
Could be an office with desks.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
This is normally done in an open space where people can't see anything.
This is the same when you're speaking about sketches, about imagination of areas.
Trust me,
Take a mental image.
right?
Yeah.
Actually, it's going to be, right, move up and shake hands. Protect your face and step it up. Right, just hold it there. Stay here. Everyone's folded as well.
It's outside.
It's normal. You always want to people can go around that. You see that?
No, it's okay.
Okay, so it's literally bang, everybody comes around and see what happens. You trust me. Yep. Roll this up there. Just put your face. Just look at your hands. Take your face. Yeah. Go. Right, stop. Stop. No, stay with your face.
This is what can happen.
This and the power extinguisher. If it's fired in the room, you've got to get to the wall.
And plus they count especially by legs and still because hands are moving in small lines in the direction.
Arthur, did you think you were over there when you turned?
No, just try for this moment here, but hands are making like some swings, and you just it's interesting to watch how you're missing like in the direction.
You forget. It's black.
But I check exactly by position of leg because if just keep.
Okay, so this is like cover and see what happens. Like you trust me, right? Please do it from you. Take your face, watch your step, and shake hands. Just stop there.
Disorientation.
It's very good idea about matches. You watch room in advance. Last time you security dance party, you have to understand. These here tables, so guys are here, it's here, yeah. It's great stuff, yeah. Very good. Yeah. So
Give Mantis a go.
let's go, man.
Mantis was very cocky. Mantis was very cocky. Thought he could do it easy.
Yeah.
It looks easy.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good to feel.
So the bang takes place, right? You spin around, so you put it on, and then you remember, right? So just walk up, shake hands, in a straight line. Get your hand up, take your face, show it with your left foot. Move the hand up and down to get you there. The left hand. Right, just stop there. Just stop. Stay in that position.
It's easy, isn't it?
Look, from now we can do like one exercise. We would be instead like say, I just said what you get.
They say that you can look and then when you're rooming on. But when it's fire, you can't see nothing. Like you said, maybe it's the table.
Oh, you could have left your room and the next room you go into is dark. You don't know what's in that room then. Yeah.
But especially if you go to second side.
You think you're going straight though, isn't it? Like
No, I can't hear. It means that
Yeah.
But the point I was saying there with Mantis is, you're in this room and then you go through a door to another room, you don't know what's in that room.
Yeah. But it's still the idea you touch and find few more points, and after get some line between these 2 points.
But he said you won't find it though.
This is why I say you've got to get
The wall, follow the wall.
Yeah. Wall is easiest way. Yeah.
I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
You've got to go and get to the wall.
But this is good to understand, to remember straight away, because no need points, just a wall.
Once you get to the wall, remember if you hit the wall, it's not, you don't slide down, you bang it.
Yeah.
Door, wall.
Solid.
Wow, yeah.
It's telling you a story what you're hearing. It's sent to hear.
As you say, you can try to show us.
But easiest way really to do. It's the only way to do.
Will a smoker have a less sense of smell of smoke?
To which?
Somebody who smokes would have a less sense of smell of smoke in the place.
Oh no, if you smoke still, if you don't see smoke, you're going to move, they're going to...
No, it wouldn't dull your senses of smoke, like...
No. But the thing is, if you're asleep in bed at night and if a fire starts in the room, the fire, your body loves carbon monoxide more than it loves oxygen. So if you're asleep in bed at night and the fire starts,
Goes to sleep in
it
that.
won't necessarily waken you up, put you into a deeper sleep.
Oh yeah.
Because your body's craving the carbon monoxide. So if you're going through smoke, it is interfering with your senses, so you have to concentrate more
Yeah, this isn't a clean environment.
Yeah.
and be focused. Yeah.
Wow, just good stuff, yeah?
But it's
Wow, very good.
not right. Yeah. So what we're going to do is, maybe you come over here. Yeah. So it's the same thing. All he's going to do is, we're nearly ready for your declan. Declan is going to resist through the fire. So as we says, all he's going to do is pull the pin. Now, he takes out this tube here, just pull it out. Right. Now, he tests for contents. Just give it a quick squeeze. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Visibility.
Nesuk. Čia kaip su ginklu, nesukimus.
The other thing is,
Don't point at us like you can.
Yeah, if you do it in a closed.
And especially, you have to check weather, direction of...
check wind direction.
Exactly, wind direction,
Wind
yeah.
direction is wrong.
Yeah, we nearly got it here.
Now I come back.
And after he directed at us, like, this too.
Right, who else wants? We're trying to just give it a squash.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
For my wife to see what I'm still doing drill.
You should have this as well, right? Just to bring it over after some fight.
Nice.
Imagine that inside a room. You won't see it. You have to hold. And the feet are in his throat.
Yeah, we did. Mistake.
So, see, this is a big thing. Well, who didn't wear this?
This fella, look.
Some ninja stuff.
As I said, rapid knockdown with visibility. Did everybody wear this?
No, it isn't. Nice. Good weapon.
Exactly. That's what you see. I was joking about extinguishers, but this is really a tool.
This is, you can see what happens, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Čia negesintuva, čia ginklas.
This is good, real weapon, if you know how to use it. Especially this one with carbon dioxide. Just
Suppose I went for training Monday night.
now we have to do some photos and put in Facebook that look, winter starts again.
Jie užsilenkė visi.
Real winter, yeah.
So, man, just put the pin on this one here.
Yeah, man.
I think he held the top as well when he pulled it. Yeah. Because naturally...
Suspal su kojam.
Fucking hell, hit the gym, man, will you?
Too much training yesterday, huh? Foam. Mantas, you have to ask in toilet to go. No, don't piss here.
I said about this extinguisher, that you spill with water, there's a nail table left added to put to it. And that foam that you see there, that's on top, that blocks off the oxygen from the fire.
And that's how it's live fires. If you're dealing with a night fire, there's a slope on it, you just put the extinguisher at the top and you let it slow down. You don't be going spraying all over it. Just pour it in one spot and let it go down. It's an atomized spray, so you won't get electrocution. Even though it says not suitable for electrical fires, but you can use. Right, so everyone gets just a feel of that one there. It's a big mess. Just to give us side to side.
It will be 2 years, June.
You take it about it,
I know, yeah. It doesn't seem like yesterday come up.
But that extinguisher has a rapid knockdown because of the foam additive in it. The 8FFF additive that's in it. That there is for all your basic things, wood, paper, stairs, it's all there. All basic things, paper, you're all happy with that?
Yep.
Okay. So, these are, everybody gets them. Are we lighting up that?
Yeah, I laid up to Alfie, no problem.
Now, the thing, as I said, about the extinguisher, if the fire is inside, you have to worry about wind direction.
That goes.
You have to worry about wind direction. Yeah, right. So you always go upwind. Yes, you do. Like this side. If the flames come back into this way, with the wind, you move around this way. The flames are going up straight. As you're moving in, as we said, detecting your contents, you aim where you think you're going to go. And it says, you approach it that way. You don't walk in. Right? You get as close as you can that you're comfortable. You aim that where you think is the base. And once you do that, you can put your hand on the bottom here. And then just fire it into the fire. Right, who's first? Right. So, as we said, remember what we're going to do. We're going to pull the pin. Pull the pin, test the air contact. That's it. We're going to pull it. More fly. Move it. Once you get close here, you start to move it. Right, and you keep going as close as you can. Right, get to there.
Wow.
Get to there then, and move in with the fires. Move it, keep it going. Fire. So once you do it, initially, you can move in on it then. Once the flame drops, don't be afraid to move in to finish it off. It's nothing to do with electricity. All you do is
Move in and finish them off.
Still alive.
right, who's next? Right, so it's the same thing, as we said, pull the pin, test for the contents.
Pull the pin, try to fire extinguisher.
That's it, fast source of fire. Fast source of fire. And once you get to here then, keep picking it hard. Move it. That's it. Yeah. That's it, so you can see, hitting it, knocking it down, and then move into the kiln once you've got it down. But if you're fed by electricity, you've got to go.
Čia iš to savo yra, galima tos panaudoti.
Nu, tai išmėjo tai.
Then walk in close to the uniform. And then start moving. The fire is out.
Kaip man tari, tup, čup, kim.
So we take the keys, no?
Yeah, just take one of them.
Yeah, they're going to go again. They're going to get it going alone. I've only walked with them this time. Right? So pull the pin, test for the content. Test for the content. That's it. And now the fire starts. So you make your way, you walk into the fire. And then once you come in, reach the fire then, that's when you go to the different stance. And you've gone up closer, fire it out. Then so that's the way to do it.
Jo. Ne, tai aš manys man kelia. Dokumentelis.
I get you another thing, just hold on, I'll get you. Yes, well,
Który jest za nosa.
Gledaj, gledaj.
Same thing, pour on the ground.
You have to do it.
That's what's
Ranka ten, imkno to.
Right,
Control.
so you all understand that?
Yeah.
Right. So this time now you're on your own, so once again the fire's going. So you start with yourself. Right. So you just head off. Walk up once you get close to it. Just that. You can walk up.
Попростай на их манты, попростай.
Then go to your start. Move in, move in, move in.
Go, go, go.
That's it. Get right in the top of it.
Нулянг манты что? Нулянг.
Yeah, off you go now.
Είσαι δουρή?
Ναι.
Bend it down, Jimien. انت اللي فاهم مش كويس.
That's everybody now.
Yeah.
It's time to destroy source.
Are you all happy, are you?
Oh, very happy.
Yeah. The other thing is, get your extinguisher there. Just there.
Wash with that car. Use the same. It's the same like we do at the end of tactical firearms. Shoot all bullets what we have.
Yeah.
All rounds, just clean it. Wow, great.
It's just, Declan, all we want to do is we want to thank Declan for the
Thanks, Woj, just brilliant stuff.
for allowing us
Yeah.
into the station.